welcome you on board with us here on NRP Radio and NRP Media. Of course, you are our clients, you are our listeners, and we do appreciate the fact that you chose to be with us this morning as we bring the news to you. A very pleasant morning and welcome now to the platforms of nrpmediaja.com. That's the NRP radio platform and Facebook and YouTube at NRP Media JA. It's Monday, March 11, 2024. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of Day Newscast. Here are the headlines. Members of the Caribbean Community CARICOM are expected to meet in Kingston today to commence discussions on the state of affairs in Haiti. Government has decided to subsume the Port Management Security Limited (PSML) under the Customs Department. The PNP have expressed concern. Some $1.2 billion is to be invested in repurposing underutilized former bauxite lands for agricultural use. JCF honors 17 trailblazing women with the Commission's Awards of Excellence. As in sports, Los Angeles Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-1 in NBA action on the court. The news today comes to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. There are no boundaries. There are no limitations whatsoever. Keep it locked right here on this station as we bring the news to you. We'll be back right after this. You're now invited to listen to the latest. I beg pardon, that's the wrong insert there.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Chryso Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now for the details of the news. Members of the CARICOM community are expected to meet in Kingston today to commence the discussions on the state of affairs in Haiti. They will also be reviewing all the matters critical to the stabilization of security in that nation. Head of CARICOM and President of Guyana, Dr. Arfan Ali made a disclosure last week. According to Dr. Ali, CARICOM remains in deep discussions with various stakeholders in Haiti, as well as Prime Minister Dr. Ariel Henry. He said while the regional group is making considerable progress, the stakeholders are not yet where they need to be. Dr. Ali noted that CARICOM is acutely aware of the urgent need for consensus and has expressed upon let me read it once again for you. Dr. Ali noted that CARICOM is acutely aware of the urgent need for consensus and has impressed upon the respective parties that time is not on their side in agreeing to the way forward. As CARICOM prepares for today's meeting, a letter was also dispatched to heads of state and government of countries with which Haiti time engaged as partners, also inviting them to the planned meeting. Head of CARICOM and President of Guyana, Dr. Arfan Ali, says that the main objective of today's meeting is to restore stability and bring relief to the people of Haiti. On February 29, tensions surged in Haiti following Prime Minister Ariel Henry's declaration that the CARICOM summit in Guyana, stating his intention to organize elections by August 2025 at the latest. This move angered local gangs seeking him to leave office earlier. The gangs have, as a result, unleashed violence on the country, storming the prisons and let loose many of whom were incarcerated for various crimes. Meanwhile, Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry is struggling at this time to stay in power as he tries to return home, where gang attacks have shuttered the country's main international airport. As of Wednesday last, Henry remained in Puerto Rico, where he landed the day before after he was barred from landing in neighboring Dominican Republic because officials there closed the airspace to flights to and from Haiti. Locked out of his country for now, Henry appears to face an impasse as a growing number of officials call for his resignation or nudge him towards it. Further, leaders of the so called peaceful revolution, Guy Philippe, who has since called for unity among all Haitians after declaring that the move to oust the illegitimate and bloodthirsty government, unquote, of Prime Minister Dr. Ariel Henry has been successful. It's a coup that is currently running the country of Haiti. The People's National Party has expressed deep concern over what it says is the potential impact on current employees amidst the government's decision to subsume the Port Management Security Limited under the Customs Department. Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine, Fitz Jackson, who highlighted the move, says that the opposition has been alerted to actions indicating the termination of services of Ports Management Security Limited, a subsidiary entity of the Port Authority of Jamaica. He added that the decision to integrate PMSL's services into the Jamaica Customs Department with public affiliations, or that should be public applications being solicited, raises concern among its over 85 member team. Mr. Jackson says there appears to be a lack of provision for current employees who have demonstrated exceptional dedication and effectiveness in their roles over the years.
With many individuals having served for over 2 decades with impeccable records, it is imperative to explore options such as secondment arrangements to incorporate them in the Jamaica Customs Department or any other such organization that will be assuming the function without compromising operational integrity. We believe that failure to consider the fate of these committed individuals would not only be unjust, but also detrimental to the nation's security efforts.
And Mr. Jackson is urging the government to prioritize the welfare of PMSL employees and ensure that any restructuring measures being implemented should happen only after due consideration for the welfare of those affected is considered.
That it's not unusual that in reorganizing or restructuring for valuable employees to be incorporated where they can continue to contribute to achieving the organization's goals. We must also bear in mind that these people have families that have a reasonable expectation for lasting employment once the services that they provide remain necessary to the organization and to the country more so.
Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine, Fitz Jackson. The PMSL was born out of the September 11 event in the United States and came into operation in 2005 as a non-conspicuous entity responsible for numerous interceptions of arms, illicit drugs, and other contrabands entering the country through the country's seaports. According to Mr. Jackson, the recent interception of 64 guns and nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition underscores the crucial contribution of PMSL to national security. In other news, some $1.2 billion is to be invested in repurposing underutilized former bauxite lands for agricultural use. This according to Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green. Speaking during the recent sitting of the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives, Mr. Green said that the investment will support a partnership involving Jamaica Bauxite Institute, Jamaica Social Investment Fund, and the bauxite companies. The project is expected to impact parts of Moko in Clarendon, Water Valley in St. Anne, Harmons and Malgoley in Manchester, and the southern sections of the parish. According to Mr. Green, the government is looking to take those lands that are now being underutilized or where mining has been finished and to have them restored and put them back into active production. Work is expected to begin this year on that project. And the Jamaica Aluminum Company, Jamalco, is reporting considering assisting the Clarendon Parish Council with lands to be operated as a cemetery. General Manager of Jamalco, Austin Mooney, made the disclosure while addressing the recent swearing-in ceremony for councillors for the parish of Clarendon. According to Mr. Mooney, the request had been received several years ago. However, due to several issues, a response could not have been provided. He added that over time, discussions were held, and now Jamalco is in a position to respond in a favorable way.
Some time ago, Jamalco was approached by the municipal corporation with a request for land to construct a new cemetery. We've been distracted over the last couple of years, but we acknowledge the urgent need for more burial space, as many of the existing cemeteries are already at or nearing maximum capacity. And please be assured that we are giving this matter careful consideration, and we will provide a response in short order. As you're aware, last year, ownership of Jamalco changed hands. As a result, Jamalco is now owned jointly by Century Aluminum, which owns 55%, and Clarendon Alumina Production, which is the government's share, 45%. The change in ownership has presented an opportunity to strengthen Jamalco while continuing to invest in our people and the parish of Clarendon.
And Mr. Mooney has urged the residents of the parish to continue to exercise patience with the company as it continues to recover from a fire that devastated the powerhouse in 2021.
Though our challenges remain since the fire, which destroyed the powerhouse in 2020, we're still working through the issues day by day, and we ask for your understanding, as there might be activities and programs that we've paused as we work through getting back to being an efficient and profitable organisation. Jamalco values the strong history, and Jamalco is here to support you and work alongside you in any area possible.
That was the general manager of Jamalco, Mr. Mooney. To give him his proper title, that's General Manager of Jamalco, Austin Mooney. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for South East Clarendon and Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. has appealed to politicians in the parish to unite for the common good. Mr. Charles was speaking last week at the swearing-in of councillors to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. According to Mr. Charles, when the dust has cleared from the hosting of the local government elections, all politicians on both sides of the political divide should focus on the purpose of their calling.
But for this country, when the dust clears, no matter what side you are on in the political divide, all of us as political leaders have the same purpose. And it is incumbent on us to really look beyond all of the colors towards the betterment of our country. So I want to say to you, Mayor, you have an awesome responsibility. Being the leader of this corporation, you have been given the support Mr. Blake and his team, and we are all looking forward to your leadership in action.
That was Member of Parliament for South East Clarendon and the Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. In honor of the 75th anniversary of Women in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson has honored 17 trailblazing women with the Commissioner's Award of Excellence at the Power Up Marketplace and Cocktail event on the weekend. The Commissioner's Award of Excellence was presented to women who the JCF says have been going beyond the call of duty, leading community initiatives, and doing their part in making Jamaica a safer place. The award was bestowed on Sergeant Shireen Chambers, Aniska Flanagan, and Constables Ronette Allen Stewart and Tajara Lewis for their exceptional work on the front line. Sergeants Chantel Myers, Crystal Morgan, Constable Shauna K. Bogle, and Miss Claudia Ball also received recognition for their remarkable contributions toward driving transformation and development within the force. Meanwhile, Corporal Julian Martin Fidley and Detective Constable Donia Phillips were acknowledged for their commendable efforts in criminal investigations. In the category of community development and the delivery of quality service, Sergeant Lorna West Small, Constable Jan Raymond, and Sergeant Shireen Wright were presented with well-deserved awards. Furthermore, Corporal Arlene McBean, the first woman to serve as chairman of the Police Federation, was acknowledged for her advocacy and representation. She continues to serve the Federation in the capacity of General Secretary. The final category saw the Commissioner's Award of Excellence being handed to Detective Sergeant Sasha Gay Mullings, Corporal Kayla Keene, and Constable Shannon Francis for their excellent service in communications and as ambassadors of brand JCF. Faye Ellington, media personality and long-standing partner of the JCF, was specially acknowledged by the Commissioner for her mentorship and consistent support in advancing police women through capacity development initiatives. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says it will continue to recognize their invaluable contributions as women who has and laid a foundation for future generations of police women through year-long celebrations. You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news and sports, the sports and weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. We're moving on now to bring you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. Hepburn's Glass for all of your doors and windows needs.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
And as we continue on this year Monday morning, we kick off on football. In sports action in the Eastern Schoolgirls football competition, Titchfield High and Yallas High played to a 1-1 draw at Carter Park on Saturday as the Portland FA under 15 competition continued. So far, Portland's FC swamped Manchalees CC 14-0 with 6 coming from Mario Jones. 2 goals from Alexis Sterling helped the defending champions Wi-Fi United to defeat Ujama CC 5-0 at the Snow Hill in Portland, FA Western Union Major League in a dress rehearsal for the semi-final. Sanjay Parson brace also enabled Rio United to get by Kensington SC 7-0 at Jones Park in the Port FA Western Union Major League, while they were held to a 1-1 draw earlier in the PFA under 15 game. And in Sunday's games, Sanjay Parsons brace enabled Rio United to get by Kensington SC 7-0 at Jones Park in the Port FA Western Union Major League, while they were held to a 1-1 draw earlier in the PFA under 15 game. I think this last paragraph was a repeat, but nonetheless emphasizing the win for the teams. In NBA action, Anthony Davis scored 27 points with a season-high 25 rebounds on a historic night as the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-109. Davis added 5 assists, 7 steals, and 3 blocks to become the first player in NBA action with at least 25 points, 25 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks in a game. teammate LeBron James chipped in with 29 points. David said, quote, I think we're hitting our stride. We're just trying to keep going, keep pushing, knowing that just like last year, all we got to do is to set in or to get in. We feel like it's tough for anybody to beat us in a 7-game series. We like our chances against anybody at this point, unquote. The win at the Crypto.com Arena, California leaves the Lakers with the Lakers sitting 9th in the Western Conference attack back-to-back victories, while third place Minnesota have lost 2 in a row. Elsewhere, the Milwaukee Bucks, who were second in the Eastern Conference, responded to successive losses to earn a 124-117 win on the road at the Los Angeles Clippers. Finally, on cricket, England's tour of India ended in a woeful fashion, as some spineless top-order batting resulted in a massive defeat inside 3 days in the 5th test in Dharamsala. Needing 259 to make the home side bat again, England were bundled out for 195 to lose by an innings and 64 runs and hand India a 4-1 series victory. That margin would have been even larger had it not been for Joe Root's 84. England were 113 for 6, only for Root to coax runs from the tail when the contest was effectively over. The inept batting overshadowed the early morning achievement of James Anderson, who had Kuldeep Yadav caught behind to become the first pace bowler to reach 700 test wickets. With Shoaib Bashir completing his second 5-wicket haul of the series, India were bowled out for 477. In blameless conditions, England's minimum requirements was to drag the match into a 4th day. Instead, they folded off spinner Ravish Chandran Ashwin, who marked his 100th test with a mesmerizing 5 for 77. That's sports, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 876-336-9928. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Alexis Strope. The United States Army has deployed a massive ship to the eastern Mediterranean carrying equipment to build a temporary pier with Palestinians in need of aid, as the UN says a quarter of Gaza's population faces starvation. VOA's Arash Arabasadi has more.
The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says the conflict so far killed nearly 31,000 Palestinians, a number that does not sit well with U.S. President Joe Biden.
There's other ways to deal with the trauma caused by Hamas.
Biden, speaking Saturday on MSNBC, as carried on X, Biden stopped short of committing to a red line that Israel could cross that would stop U.S. support for its ally. But as Ramadan begins, any relief by land, sea, or air can't come soon enough. Arash Arabasadi, VOA News.
That is the latest international news from the Voice of America. Keep listening to our newscast right here on NRP Radio. We'll have more for you. At this time, we're going to be heading now to bring you a brief report from the Met Service as we bring you the latest in terms of the weather report and forecast. The National Meteorological Service is reporting that there is a significant feature of, let's give it that, significant feature of a cold front across the northwestern Caribbean. The cold front is expected to move north of Jamaica through tomorrow. Expect windy conditions to begin across eastern coastal areas on Tuesday, especially in the afternoon. In the 24-hour forecast this morning and afternoon, mostly sunny. Tonight, becoming fair. In the 3-day forecast, Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly sunny across western parishes, isolated showers across the central and eastern parishes, windy, beginning across eastern parishes, especially in the afternoons. On Thursday, mostly sunny, becoming windy in the afternoon across some central areas. There's a ridge across the Gulf of Mexico at this time, and the maximum temperature expected for Kingston, 32 degrees Celsius, for Montego Bay, 31 degrees Celsius. That is the latest weather report and forecast on NRP Radio. We've now come to the end of our news presentation this morning, but before we go with the headlines once again, members of the CARICOM Community CARICOM are expected to meet in Kingston today to commence discussions on the state of affairs in Haiti. Government has decided to subsume the Port Management Security Limited under the Customs Department. The PNP has expressed concern. Some $1.2 billion is to be invested in repurposing underutilized former bauxite lands for agricultural use. JCF honors 17 trailblazing women with the Commission's Award of Excellence. And in sports, Los Angeles Lakers beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 120-109 in NBA action on the courts. That's the entire news right here on NRP Radio. Join us again at 6:30 this evening
in Luke
for the latest
46
NRP
says,
Evening Newscast.
My soul praises the Lord. My heart rejoices in God, my Savior. This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 a.m.
And at 7 o'clock, we invite you to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. Stand by now for the latest program coming your way. That's Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair. Have a good morning. Hi there, I'm Leon Nash, CEO of NRPMediaJA.com, and you are listening to NRP Media JA